New tonight, the deadline is approaching for Northern Virginia's 5 largest school districts to comply with Department of Education orders that say students must use bathrooms and locker rooms that match their gender at birth.
Education Secretary Linda McMahon told 7 News last week that the districts are violating Title IX and the schools risk losing federal funding if they don't comply by next week. We've got team coverage tonight as Josh Chapin looks into a court ruling that's cited in most of these school policies.
But first, let's begin with Nick Manock for some breaking developments in this case. Nick?
School board sources tell me these districts are requesting a 90-day extension from the U.S. Department of Education just days before the government's deadline. But I want to start with sharing a perspective we rarely hear in these debates. Today, I spoke with a local dad and his transgender son, who recently graduated from high school in Northern Virginia. This is Nico and his dad, Hans. Nico is now in college after graduating from Arlington Public Schools last year. Nico, a transgender man, wants the school boards to keep fighting to allow transgender and non-binary students to use whatever bathroom or locker room they are comfortable with based on their chosen gender identity.
Transitioning didn't change my experience at school at all. It really just kept things the same. Because APS had these affirming policies, I was able to continue being who I always had been at school, but even more me. And the idea that I might have had to go to school and not use the correct name, not use the correct pronouns, and be forced to use the women's restroom, it would have shattered me. I can't imagine having to go to school like that, and I don't think I would have been a successful student.
Hans is a member of the Arlington Gender Identity Alliance, which has been working with APS since 2018 to develop its current policies.
I really want people to understand how much fear there is in the community of parents and families of transgender young people right now. We really believe there is no other course for Arlington Public Schools other than to just say no. There is no compromise here.
The Trump administration may not be interested in compromise either. Education Secretary Linda McMahon told 7 News last week if these districts don't reverse course and require all students to use the bathroom or locker room which matches their biological sex, she's referring them to the U.S. Department of Justice, and they could lose millions of federal dollars. Ian Pryor is another Northern Virginia dad. He's been fighting Loudoun County policies allowing students of the opposite sex in public school bathrooms and locker rooms for years. He tells me he's opposed to this 90-day extension because it would mean starting another school year under rules he believes are bad for most students.
The federal government said you were violating Title IX, blatantly violating Title IX. And these school districts come together and say, can we have 90 more days to blatantly violate federal law? In what universe do these people live in which they think that they are so entitled that they get to violate federal law and get the federal government's permission to do so?
Some of the school districts involved in this case are hiring outside counsel, signaling they might be preparing to fight the administration in court, whereas some school districts are reaching out to the Department of Education, according to sources, to discuss parameters for negotiations. We'll stay on top of developments as the Monday deadline gets closer. Nick Manock, 7 News.